เราจะเมื่อยปากนะครับเอาละนะพี่น้องถ้ามาพร้อมนะครับเชิญตรงนี้เลยนะครับแล้วก็เราจะได้เริ่มเลย
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I would like to welcome everyone to the second annual Thai Alliance for Human Rights. This is a great day and it's a great opportunity for me to be here to represent part of the foundations. It's non-profit foundations. We here together to fight, prevent awareness, and try to cure the person who have been abusive and unfair treated for a human being. The purpose of putting together for this organization is to help people around the world. We connect everybody around the world. Thais, Laos, Cambodian, Africa, and consider as third world countries, first world country, black, white, every race should be treated equally, the same way how either rich or poor should be treated. Today we have a lot of guests, a professor, a doctor, a person just like me and you, being here to express our feeling, acknowledge, explain, and to help us, guideline us to where we have the same purposes and the same point of being equally and transform everything for our human rights to become all in ones. I would like to take this opportunity to bring up my first guest. He's a professor and from Thailand. Please welcome.
Right. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Dr.Piangdin.
Honorable guests, TAHR Chairman of the Board of Directors, Human Rights Watch, Amnesty International, Freedom House, Human Rights Defenders in Asia and around the world, TAHR members, and all Thai citizens around the world. On behalf of the Thai Alliance for Human Rights, I thank you all the parties for making this event possible. TAHR is a non-profit, non-partisan organization registered with the state of California. It has been established in order to serve three dimensions of missions. We try to tackle all human rights issues, especially in Thailand. And whenever possible, we want to lend our helping hands to our neighbors in Asia and around the world. Human rights violations are taking place in all societies around the world, but they come in different forms and different degrees. Cultural relativism has been claimed as a reason for not fully complying with the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. But TAHR stands firm on the ground that the universal human rights should be respected and should be guaranteed for all humankind. Sadly enough, human rights violators have, as in the example of Thailand, been exploiting political, socio-cultural, economic, and educational elements to disguise themselves and to perpetuate the oppression or dehumanization. As many citizens are not aware of such structural abuses, and as many who stood up and resist or try to change the system have been suppressed and oftentimes brutally murdered. In Thailand, loyalty to the monarchy is made equivalent to the national security, and as such, laws associated with both could nullify all the legal articles in the kingdom's past and current constitutions that would otherwise guarantee all the rights. Virtually all coup d'etats in Thailand political history cited threats to the throne and the national security as two main reasons. In fact, these two elements have also been culturally promoted through one-sided propagandas that consume large amounts of national budget. Thais could love the king so much that they can hate fellow citizens enough to harm them using all means. 40 years ago today, in 1973, groups of students and some progressive citizens rose up against the military regime and successfully achieved a new and more democratic constitution. However, 3 years later, those students, activists, and politically active citizens were brutally massacred at Third University in the name of the protection of the monarchy and the national security. The abuses witnessed in the 1973 and especially in 1976 violence were made possible by the culturally constructed blind love and faith in the national security and the monarchy. Of course, this is not to put all the blame on a single institution or individual, but all structural elements combined. Economically speaking, Thais deserve more from the rich natural resources, cultural resources, and human resources that Thailand possesses. However, the resources have been shared by only the minority elites. Worse, too much of the people's taxes have been used to promote the love for the richest monarchy in the world and to feed the greedy and spoiled royal army. National debt, personal debt, difficult daily life when incomes and inflation rates do not agree, and political rifts that take away peace, freedom, opportunities, and happiness among people are all apparent to naked eyes, as the quality of Thai education has also been found at the bottom of the table among ASEAN countries. The Yingluck administration is, to many observant eyes, too soft and too reluctant to address the real human rights problems, given the unimproved human rights records that international human rights agencies have so far released. Despite the image of lovely Prime Minister Yingluck talking about democracy and human rights, academic freedom and freedom of speech are suppressed by the enforcement of the 2007 Computer Crime Act and Article 112, the lèse-majesté law. Worse, the judicial systems have failed to grant the assured rights to bail before individuals are found guilty beyond any reasonable doubt. The very existence of the lèse-majesté law itself has violated several articles in the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, namely Articles 9, 10, 11, 18, and 19. And yet, the government has done virtually nothing to amend this law and to tackle the issues that are affected by these laws. Meanwhile, victims of recent massacres, namely the red shirts and some yellow shirts have not obtained their overdue justice. No single procurator has stepped into the court. And it is also hard to believe that the democratically elected government that came to power by the sweat and blood of the people has shown its clear intention to avoid ratifying the Rome Statute with the International Criminal Court. Obviously, much more has to be done by the Thai government to fulfill the verbal promises and the expected obligations for which Prime Minister Yingluck is held responsible. Of course, Thailand is facing many other types of human rights abuses. Records in recent years still pinpoint several other types of human rights violations, including human trafficking and prostitution together, child labor, domestic violence, fatal attacks on Buddhist civilians in the Deep South, police brutality, and abuses of other kinds. Sadly, the National Council for Human Rights that was established by the virtue of the 2007 Constitution has been doing nothing but a solemn farce and allied to the status quo. On the surface, Thailand may seem as charming as it gets. But given its oppressive structure and clear records of massacres, escalated abuses, and repeated impunity, the world cannot turn its blind eye to the situations in Thailand. We are asking you to help us whenever needs are called for. We hope to visit your offices to share more details about the structural elements that we've just mentioned today. Thank you all parties involved in the preparation and the execution of the events today. The Thai Alliance depends on you so that its missions can be realized. We need help from both Thais around the world and also from our foreign friends. We are new kids on the block and we hope you will help us. Thank you all for being here today. Thank you for all the potential help that you can give us. This is just the beginning of many different things. The best is yet to come, but great things will never come unless you all help us. Thank you so much.
I got a round of applause for Dr.Piangdin, please. That is a serious issue, and I've been living in this country for many years and learned a lot of things. And every time I'm looking back to my own country, which is Thailand, and there's so many things I think it should be done, it should get done, and it was never been done. So this is a good start that we have a professor and everybody who wanted to educate himself and try to help our country to be better. We all live here, and we'll see what it'd be like if someone would adopt it in a child and get caught. The sentence here is a serious sentence, but not in Thailand. A human traffic here, you are looking at 25 years to life. In Thailand, 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, who knows? So this is a good start at we try to pressure and doing the right thing for our country. My next guest is a young professor and a doctor that really dedicate himself and been around the world. And please give a round of applause to Dr. Piangdin.
สวัส cut short any time because I think Kunjalan is on the phone. But while we're trying to connect with Ajaran, maybe you have to bear with me first, and I'll be short. First of all, thank you so much and for the invitation. And I'm so pleased to be back to LA once again. In fact, to this very place, when I came in March to give a talk on a very controversial issue of the problem with the Thai monarchy. Well, I mean, as I said, I'm going to be short today, and once again, I'm very honored to be here and also to be able to give talk on this very important topic that is so close to my heart. Well, I'll prepare a speech, so I'll just go with the speech. To end. You want to cut me short?
Yes, actually, Ajaran is right online. Okay.
I'll be back a bit.